What's up, guys? Mike Banks here. I'm the Chief Operations Officer at Fund&Grow. I'm also a real estate investor. Today, I've got a really good interview lined up with a client of ours who happens to be a real estate investor, buy and hold investor, who has done 8 deals. He's rehabbed and remodeled 8 of his deals, all from using the funding that he got with Fund&Grow. So that's today's video. Let's jump into it. All right. Hey, Gabe, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great, Mike. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much for being on with us today. I'm really excited to go over your story and just go over the details of how you use Fund&Grow and how it helped you in your real estate investing business. I know, like, primarily what you're all about is buying and holding rentals, and I know there's some more details that you're going to get into about what you're, branching out into. But what I thought was just really amazing that you were able to fully rehab and remodel 8 deals that you've got, all with the funding you got with Fund&Grow. So before we get into all the details, why don't you just kind of give everybody a little background about yourself, like how long you've been in the real estate game? I know you said you're also a realtor, which is cool. You can help people in the Florida area with that. So just give everybody a little background about your real estate experience and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so Mike, basically, I bought my first condo back in 2006. I had moved up to the Fort Myers area, and 2009, the economy crashed. We had all these things in '08 in March. I remember with the stock market, the economy crashing, with the housing, market, and things were really bad. And before real estate, I was a promotional spokesperson, and I was traveling for a Fortune 500 company. And basically, I was hearing in the news. I was working out of Las Vegas, Nevada at the time, and I was hearing how hard the areas of Nevada got hit, and Southwest Florida, which was my neck of the woods, because I was living from Fort Myers. So I was kind of like, wow, I could get into some real estate investments. It's something that I was always interested in, especially as a kid. I always wanted to get involved in real estate and own apartment buildings. And I kind of looked at it like, wow, this could be an opportunity to buy some fixer-upper properties, which I didn't have a whole lot of experience to begin with in that, but I kind of went with the flow, and learned some stuff. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I got with some friends that taught me stuff, that have experience in construction, and they taught me some things with real hard work. And learn about Habitat for Humanity, different programs and such. I basically jumped head in, and I was doing a promotion tour with the U.S. Army, and I had a sergeant that was with me, and he basically talked about how veterans weren't getting enough housing. There was a lot of chronic homelessness, and I was like, wow, you know what? Maybe what I'm going to do when I get back to Fort Myers is I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to fix it up, and I might just rent some rooms out, and it could be a way to do the bear strategy, known in Bigger Pockets, where you buy a property, you rinse, you renovate. I mean, you buy, you renovate, you rent it, you refinance, you repeat. I mean, the process.
Yep.
But back then, credit was very scarred. It was hard to get it, and I myself also had a foreclosure on my record because I lost my condo with part of the economic crash. I lost money in the stock market. Kind of learned a lot through that experience, and I figured, what, I'll start out with one house. I got a little nest egg here from all this promotion stuff I'm doing, and I'm not going to screw it up again. I'm going to get it bigger than better than ever, and I'm going to help the people, have affordable housing while we all build ourselves up. So basically, I bought the first house, and I had all these rooms, and I thought to myself, well, how am I going to be able to own apartment buildings if money's tight right now and I can't do it? But I could start off with one house. I got all these bedrooms. I could fix it up. Money was tight, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to go put some ads on Craigslist. I'm going to meet some people, and I'm going to kind of gear it towards helping veterans, do a barter trade, but be open-minded to maybe working with other folks too. Anyone that's got experience in construction. And like I said, if money was tight, I had to be very frugal. I had to figure out a way to make
Yep.
this thing work. I basically went off. I put an ad on Craigslist. I said, hey, if you guys have barter trade experience with fixing houses and doing different things, I want to barter with you. Let's meet for an interview. Let's have some lunch. And it was sort of like an interview of getting to know the person. And I said, if you're a veteran, I want to help you the most. But if you're not a veteran, I'm also willing to help you as well. But I wanted to kind of gear it towards vets. I wanted to help them because of the tour I did with the U.S. Army. So I got back and I met with several people at a restaurant and talked with them. And soon enough, I had the whole house filled. It was like a 3-bedroom house, but there was a den and a family room. And I made all these rooms turn into like a 4 or 5 room setup. And I lived there rent free. And I had all these guys made up like a little team and one girl too, Kelly. I'll never forget her. She was really cool. And I had all these people together. And I was like, let's go paint this house. Let's fix it up. Let's just do these things. And then back end, I bought a duplex that was
Nice.
in the Fort Myers area, and I got my guy Chris and Preston, a couple of my guys that were living at my house, and Chris had a lot of experience with painting. I said, Chris, you can come on over. I had this other guy, Preston, who was good at plumbing work and drywall and stuff, so I had him help me at the duplex project. And then I had that one, and I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip that duplex. I'm going to take the money and I'm going to rinse and repeat. I'm going to go buy another property. I'll take that money from that property and I'll utilize that money as a rental. So I'm going to buy this one house. I'm going to fix it up. I'm going to flip that one. I'm going to take the money from that and the profits. I'm going to buy another one. And then the other one, I'm going to keep it. And this is sort of how I started building my little portfolio. And
Nice.
eventually I was like, man, my credit sucks, but I want to fix it up because of this one foreclosure, screwed it. And I'm like, how do I start looking out for other bases of making money to build it up? Well, over time, I got with hard money lenders. Hard money lenders are more, they're more forgiving because they're going to charge you high rates.
Hmm.
And that kind of stuff was killing my deals, a lot of times with the profits. But if I did it right
Yep.
in the short term of
Just throwing
building,
money right out the window, right?
yeah.
I love that thing.
Oh my God. Hey, man. Yeah, well, that's awesome. I love it. But what happened in the back end is I just realized, I'm gonna do everything I can to get my credit back going, do it awesome, just work at it. I got with a bank that was willing to report to my credit at hard money rates, but willing to report. That was the epithet of where everything started to change. I had a refinance loan that I did on a couple of the properties. It was 3 properties that I have. Uh, well, I sold a couple of those recently. But what happened was I built up the funds from that, and I started to work on buying more properties and doing more stuff. And then eventually my credit started clearing up because the 7-year mark happened,
Hmm.
and now time is going by, and I was already getting good reporting in the background with that one refinance loan through the lender that was like a hard money type terms.
Right.
And before you know it, my credit was like in the 690s or so after I had crashed and burned with my foreclosure, went down to a 580. And, prior to my foreclosure, I was a 783. I was very happy about that score. And I got to see what it felt like to have a foreclosure screw up my whole world.
Mm.
If I was able to do it all over again, I probably would have in some way salvaged the condo. I would have I would have thrown a renter in there. I would have like tried, but I was so naive. I was only, I was like 21, 22 years old at the time. Like I'm 34 now. I got started when I was 19 and a half with the first condo. And then I really started to run with traction when I was about 23, 24 years old. So I've been at this business for like the last 10 years,
Well, at least
just
you got
running it.
that foreclosure out of the way, early
Yeah.
on. That was probably a big
Oh,
learning
yeah.
experience because, like you just said, there was probably maybe a way you could have salvaged it and avoided letting it go to that extreme with the foreclosure,
Yeah.
maybe somehow. But at the
I did
same
so
time,
much.
you're freaking young. You're doing deals at 19, 20 years old. One
Yeah.
of them didn't work out, but now sounds like you've got your credit in way better shape. You've got access to credit. I know
Oh,
you do with Fund and Grow. You got a bunch of business credit. How many properties do you have right now? I know you're selling them
well,
off.
yeah, well, I mean, at the height, I was at 18 properties and I was with a total of 63 doors because I was doing, my concept is the roommate rental. So a lot of them are like, some quadplexes, some duplexes, a triplex. And then, of course, I have like multiple houses with rooms set up. So those are separate leases. But I got to tell you, right now, at the moment, I sold off about 40% of the portfolio. So I have about, well, I guess if you figure, I have about 9 properties right now
Okay.
left, but some of them are like one's a duplex, another's a duplex, and then there's multiples, but there's nine partials that
So
I
what
have
you're
right
doing
now.
is a little bit different than what a lot of people are doing because you're doing like the roommate thing. So you're taking a single family and you're making it
Yeah.
out into almost like multifamily. So you're collecting.
Well, yeah, like roommate rental type setup. They're like my little miniature apartments. And when you think about it, it's like people that get an opportunity to live together, become a family unit, and they all have their own private bedroom. We provide it furnished or unfurnished, however they like, and then they share the common areas with each other, like the kitchen and bathroom. And we have a cleaner that comes once a month, and we provide all the utilities included in the rent. And it's been such a successful way of doing it. It has helped people from not being homeless, that we've contracted with the county for the Lee County government, and we work with the Salvation Army and the Veterans Affairs and the United Way Foundation. And we do all this housing for so many different nonprofits and groups. There's Affordable Home Foundation. They also send us folks. So we're like all over the place.
That's awesome, man.
And yeah, and then we help everybody else, just in general, people that just word of mouth or are advertising on thatsweetrental.com. So we get a lot of that. But I got to tell you, when the foreclosure finally got off my record, it was like I was flying, Mike. My credit just went shoom, it went up, and I was like, oh man, I need to start researching. So I was always a member of Bigger Pockets,
Uh-huh.
and I was sort of like a lurker. And I was like trying to find ways that I could potentially get more credit going or loans or something. And that's how I came across Fund&Grow, and I was reading some stuff about a webinar with Morris Invest at the time. And I was like, wow, Fund&Grow, what the heck is this? Interesting stuff, and I'm like thinking
That's
credit.
everybody's first reaction. What the heck?
Yeah.
Credit
Yeah,
cards?
and I'm like, is it too good to be true? Can I really get business credit? Because, at that time I was using all my personal credit cards to, in essence, fix up houses and buy properties. And it was like using every little bit that I had from my promotion background with that and the flips that I was doing. And all I kept thinking was, man, there has to be a way to get money. But if my personal credit was getting tarnished with all this debt, right? It was good
Hmm.
debt in a way, but my credit was going down. How was I going to get banks to loan me money if I had all this debt to income ratio super, in crazy percentages? So I basically
Right.
learned about you guys and started making pay downs to the credit cards. I think it was Marty, I believe, that I was dealing with at the time. And Marty was kind of giving me great advice and everything. And then I got with my first person that worked with me was Michael Richards. And he's outstanding, by the way. Outstanding person. Like,
Yeah, that's everyone on our team though. We have just a group of, really
yeah,
just positive professional people. That's the whole team, the whole atmosphere here. There's nobody miserable like, walking around mad at their clients. We
pretty
either
much
we
us.
coach them up or we coach them out, and we try
Yeah,
extremely hard to keep people on, especially if we've trained them and worked with them. So we're not the type that's just like, oh, you're fired, you're fired. We really go out of our way to like, make it happen. But at the same time, you got to meet certain requirements. You got to have that
yeah,
professionalism and the positive mindset, and just be productive. And that's how we operate. That's really why we have the reputation we have. That's why we've grown so fast, up to 40 employees now, because we've been really good at building a
amazing.
good team and keeping that same vision among everyone on the team, so that they kind of look at it like it's their business. But you were saying you worked with Michael Richard, and how
Yeah,
much credit did you end up getting in the
yeah.
program?
So my very first batch of round of funding that I went through with Michael, I got $95,200. Let me tell you, that's phenomenal for me, considering the fact that this was credit that was being reported to my business.
Wait, how
It
much did
was
you get on the first batch?
$95,200.
Whoa! That's amazing, man. That's
Oh,
really good. I mean, we do that
oh,
pretty
it
often, but that's definitely the. I love that gun. That's definitely the
I love that
higher.
thing. Where'd you get that?
What's that?
That's cool. Where'd you get that thing? That's cool.
Amazon. Just search
I love
money gun. You got to break up the monotony
it.
a little bit. But
Exactly. Yeah.
so you. So I'm sorry. I know I keep on interrupting everything. So 98,000 on the first round of funding.
It was 95,200.
Okay.
And on the second round, I went through Michael Richards again, but then it kind of veered off, and I started to have Giovanni Goko. He he helped me finish it off, and he also did a fantastic job. I mean, that guy's on the ball with everything. So he was able to get me on the second batch, a mix between Michael Richards and Giovanni finishing it off on the second round. Got me, it was 85, it was just over 85,000 on that one. So I got like combined in totality, it was like $180,000. It's phenomenal. And all of this is being reported in the back end to my business credit. I get the inquiries. The inquiries only come on my personal at first for the first pull, but then in the background, I work with, you guys' sister company, Kadem Credit, which is completely optional, by the way, because you guys offer a guide to show me how to remove the inquiries myself. But,
Yep.
I want that whole entire treatment where, you guys kind of got them in the background. They charge very reasonable discounted pricing by being a client already at Fund&Grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? It's like the white cloth treatment kind of thing. I'm going to
Exactly.
just go to them. They
Yeah.
handle it, and you guys start getting those inquiries taken off my record. And before you know it, I'm ready for like another round of funding. And then I'm just like ready to soar in the air.
I bet though, a lot of people are like, oh, what about the inquiries? They're going to hit my credit. It's going to bring my credit down. And I'm always like, look, for one, we help you remove the inquiries, but that's kind of irrelevant because you just got $180,000 in business credit that doesn't show up on your personal credit report with zero interest. You'll tell everybody what the average is in a minute, but the point I'm making here is those inquiries are about 2 points each, right? So a lot of people, and I think you even said you were wrapped up spending all your personal credit on your business, so now your
Yeah.
scores are going down. So that's more of a worry right there. You should be more concerned with only having personal credit and then your scores going down every time you use the credit for a rehab or a renovation versus taking the hit, taking a few inquiries, getting access to all that money. Now, none of the debt shows up on your personal credit report. So, is it worth the inquiry hits that you get if you get access to all this funding that doesn't show up on your personal report? Absolutely. But then we
Absolutely.
also help you remove the inquiries. And like you said, you're just like me. I would way rather just have someone do it, especially if it's not going to cost me a ridiculous amount of money. Let them do it. I don't have to think about it. I get to focus on what I want to worry about. And, they get most of them removed. They don't necessarily get guaranteed every single one removed, but I mean, they probably got most of yours removed. Then we were able to go into our next batch. And then, like you said, you got a total of
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
180,000. And now
Oh, yeah. They do enough that you can go back out and get the next round of funding going. So, yeah, you're
yeah.
good to go.
And now tell us what your credit score is now compared to what it was when you were using your personal credit all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean it's literally like night and day. I mean, when I was it's amazing because the moment that I got all that credit in the business side, I was able to also make a lot of the pay downs now on the personal side. So yeah, my credit hovers around in the high 700s. At the highest, I was at an 805, 801, 803, and like an 805. I was like, wow, this is insane. I think right now last time I checked with ScoreSense, my credit is hovering in the 790s. It's phenomenal.
790s. So that's
Yeah.
just, a lot of people out there are like, oh, I don't want it to affect my personal credit. They look at my credit, the inquiries. You guys are hearing it firsthand from a client who's got 180,000 and he's using it, and the inquiries are
Oh yeah.
not an issue. It's a non-issue. All right. So, because, if you're on the video right now and you're not sure what we're talking about, in order to get approved for business credit, they want to look at your personal credit report, which means that there's going to be an inquiry as a result. But the business credit doesn't actually report. It doesn't actually show up on your personal credit report. It's reporting to the EIN and your business credit profile. So it's literally a separate thing. So when you get a business credit card with us, it doesn't show up on your personal credit report. And so maybe if some people are watching this video, maybe they didn't know what we were talking about exactly. I just wanted to clear that up.
I mean, if I could mention, Mike, I mean, I'll let anybody that is watching know. I was a skeptic too. Trust me when I say that. I'm the type of person that naturally I'm a skeptic about most things. I have to vet things. I have to research things.
Same
And
here.
boy, did I research. Yeah, I researched a lot. And I realized, whenever there was problems of anybody that might have had an issue of some sort, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? It's how a company reacts to any sort of issue, whether the issue is true or false. how the company reacts to it says a lot about a company's integrity. And let me
Yep.
tell you, some of the comments, of the very few little comments of people, didn't really have merit to begin with when I was researching Fund and Grow. They were just people that were impatient. They didn't get the funding they wanted. It's a process, people. You have to realize you have to wait. You can't expect this to happen overnight. So when I saw how the responses were, I believe at the time the response was from Leanna Alexander, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was so professional and so comforting in a way. It was like reading her responses. I was like, wow, you know what? This company, man, they're on the ball. They know what they're doing. And decide, Fund and Grow is local to me. They're only an hour and a half, 2 hour drive. If I was worried about my money, what was going to happen, I could just come up there and be like, hey, what's up? But you know what?
Give me
You
my
know,
money.
with my money.
No, it's true though, man.
But
I've
you know what?
had,
Realistic, good
yep.
good group. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Sincerely, I'm beside this being an interview, I'm incredibly grateful for what you guys have done for me and my company. I mean, really, truly have helped us advance to ways that I'm going to always be incredibly grateful to you guys.
I appreciate
Seriously.
that. Gives me the chills hearing
Yeah.
that. I really do appreciate that. And
No,
hopefully,
you're very thank you. Very, very thankful.
hopefully,
Seriously.
this message gets out to people who are on the fence, or even if you're not on the fence with working with us, at least now you know about this resource, because a lot of people don't really realize the potential, and they're kind of just like, oh, I don't have the money, hard money lender, and that's it. Or maybe I can go raise private money, but I don't really know how to do that, and I don't know that many people that have money, so how am I going to get money together for my deals? And they can only go so far if that's what they're thinking. But if we
Yeah.
show them this video and they come across it online or whatever, now they know that there's literally a resource with zero
Yep.
interest, business credit, doesn't show up on your personal report, it won't bring your scores down. It's a great, easy, affordable way to grow any business, not just real estate. We have all kinds of truck drivers, Amazon stores, doctors,
Mhm.
lawyers that go through our program. But real estate investors tend to need money. They need it quickly. They need
Yeah.
a lot of money, and they need it ongoing. And that's the
Yeah.
difference between a lot of the other businesses out there. They might only need the money for a certain project, or to get to launch it, or to get the practice going. But a lot of businesses need money for marketing regularly or inventory. So those kind of businesses need it ongoing, like a real estate investor. But primarily for us, we work with so many investors, flippers, landlords, wholesalers. And that's probably because we work with so many educators, like big names, like you mentioned, Morris, and guys like Kent Clothier, and there's the list goes on of all of the big names like Ross Hamilton, who are promoting us and sending us clients because we're so reputable. We have over 2,000 positive reviews. We really care about the client. Like you said, when you read Liana's response, we care. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all you got to do. If
Yeah.
you care, that goes a long way, and it shows through your reputation and through the online dialogue that you're going to see. And if there's ever a little issue, how we handle it, all that stuff, we could be like these other businesses who have thousands of complaints and they don't even respond to them. They just keep on
Mhm.
trucking. And we don't, we're like the opposite. We make sure we resolve things with our clients, and let them know that we really do sincerely care. And I want everyone to know that. I don't want anyone in the office. I don't want any of the clients thinking that we're just trying to, get rich off of them and mislead them. So we're really transparent. We try to just be as real as possible. And especially in this type of industry, we really have to, because there's a lot of sharks out there, a lot of people that are, telling you that they're going to get you business credit, and then they don't even tell you. They just go and get personal credit for you. The only time we would ever
Yeah.
get someone personal credit ever is if we told them point blank on a call, on a consultation, and then right before we do the applications, we make sure we tell them again, because we want them to know without a shadow of a doubt that this is what we're going to do, and we want to make sure we're on the same page. And the only time we would ever do that is if they don't have enough personal credit, if they need the personal credit. So it's a very rare thing for us to do that. But in your case, you
Yeah.
got all business credit, and I know you were saying before that you just could tell we were really transparent, And that brings
Yeah.
people in. It's like a magnet when they could see you're just being real. I had a guy tell me
Yeah.
on a webinar, oh, he's Honest John or something like that. And I'm listening to the webinar and I'm like, man, I almost sound like I'm being a little too much. But and then I got that feedback and I was like, all right, good. Because I just try to be very myself on the webinars, on these videos. I'm just trying to let people
Yeah.
know, like, we're not holding anything back. This is what we do, and take it or leave it. It's a great resource, I think. I'm sure you think that, and we've
Yeah.
got thousands of clients that
Yeah.
think that. We're doing like 15 million now every month in credit lines that we originate. So, and we're steadily growing too. So, we're not doing that for no reason. You don't get
So
that many
cool.
clients every month,
Yeah.
unless you're really standing behind what you say and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. So
I
let's
got to
talk
tell
about
you,
the deals a little bit.
yeah. Well,
You,
I'll mention something that's actually really cool. I'm also a Florida licensed realtor, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of people out there that want to buy properties and they're concerned about their credit and all that kind of stuff. Could you imagine utilizing Fund and Grow as a basis of getting business credit, finding a way to utilize that money by using something like Plastique to like send money off to a title company and stuff to make the payment for your property or the remaining funds needed or the down payment money possibly that's needed. I mean, there's so many cool ways to do it. And then in the back end, you get this mortgage, and it's going to, of course, it'll report personally if you're trying to buy a house or something, let's say like that. But to get the monies that you needed, you could have just gotten as a down payment, all through business credit. It was not going to affect your personal side. That's a way that I've done some stuff. you know, Complete great way to do it. Get that extra funds that you needed as a down payment, and you just utilize the business credit side to make the payment. And then, if you're working on a business side of things, you can get the business loan to report to your business credit, like I do. I have one bank that I work with right now. Everything gets reported to the business. My business, my company, that's who rental, has its own standing. But it's like you have people out there that don't have enough capital to put the down payment down. They can utilize Fund and Grow to get the funds they need, and then it never reports to their personal credit at all. It's like you get the inquiry, it comes off, and then in the background, you have
yep.
the funds, and it's not even affecting your personal. I mean, I'm like, thank you, Fund and Grow.
Yeah, we actually just, go
I've
ahead.
done a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we just
crazy.
got a review. A guy named Sergi, he used like $45,000 of it for a down payment. So he must be doing a big deal. Maybe he's in the market where everything's over 200,000. So he's using it for a down payment. He's probably got a traditional financing or a hard money lender. And that's the thing. A lot of times a hard money lender doesn't cover the whole deal. Sometimes you still got to come out of pocket for the down payment or for the rehab, that
Yeah.
gap. Sometimes they only want to cover 70, 80%, whatever. So even in those
Mhm.
higher end markets, this isn't just to buy properties. That's not what this is all about. This is for rehabs, for expenses, for even, I think you mentioned something about payroll that you were able to use it for that. I know you've got
Yeah.
some like real good
Yeah.
ways that say it again.
Sometimes I get offers with convenience checks from the credit card companies, and I get 0% off of that. And those promotions can last like a year to like 15 months. And I'm using like two of them right now. So, I got the cash from that, and that got sent directly to the bank account of my business. So,
Yeah, and that
yeah,
only
it's true.
costs 3% for the convenience checks, right?
Yeah, the 3% commission, not commission, I'm sorry, the convenience fee that you pay is the interest to the bank basically to get that
Yeah,
money.
and that's
So,
just like plastic. Plastic does a
super cheap.
2.5%, and they'll charge the card for you, and they'll send a wire transfer to the title company so that you can have that peace of mind and confidence when you're negotiating with the seller. You say, look,
Yeah,
I'm a cash buyer. I
you
have the
are.
funds.
You
I'm a
are.
cash buyer, and I need the best discount because I'm going to go in and I'm going to rehab this property. I'm going to fix it up. It's going to cost me $30,000, $40,000 and based on the repairs that this house needs. And so I need the property. I need to be able to get it for 70,000. So I can put in the
Yeah,
30 and then I can hopefully resell it for 140. So yes, I have to make my profit. That's what we do as investors. We
yeah,
buy houses, we fix them up and we sell them. And that's what I do.
yeah.
I'm a cash buyer. So are you able to make that price happen? Can we make a deal with that offer that I'm giving you? and then you get your contract signed. Boom. Now you send the contract to the title company. Say, hey, I got this deal. All right, can we close in 2 weeks from now? You sure we can? So now the title company's doing their lien search, they're doing their estoppel letters, they're doing their all the stuff that they do in the background, the title work.
Oh yeah.
And then while
Yeah,
that's happening, you just simply go to plastic.com, you set up your account, it takes 2 seconds, super easy, and then you add let's John Smith Peer Title Company or whatever their name is. You add them as a pay to vendor in your plastic account, and then you send the money via a wire transfer to the title company. Now you're buying that deal as a cash buyer. And let's say you're bringing a hard money lender into it. You can fund half the deal with your credit, half the deal with the hard money lender. You can use it as down payment, whatever you want to do, but that's only going to cost you 2.5%. And then you even said you got the convenience checks for 3%.
Yep.
So it's
3%.
like really like $100,000, let's say. If it costs me 3% of $100,000, that means it only costs me $3,000 to do that deal. And if I use a hard money lender for $100,000, that's 12% interest usually. That's $12,000. So it's like, am I?
It's apples to oranges. You
Yeah.
you really can't compare. It's a win-win. I mean, Fund and Grow obviously is the way to go.
Yeah.
I think my business has definitely advanced as a result of it. And, dealing with banks, you have to also go through the underwriting process. You have to go through showing bank statements, and you have to show all these things that they want to open up a can of worms to people that are like, oh my God, my company's just started. I don't have enough of this. But, if your credit is good and it's decent and, you got funding around the background kind of guiding and getting it going, you can get a lot of funds to get you going in ways that you would have otherwise been at a halt,
Yep.
waiting.
Yeah, I had a guy ask a question on one of the videos, and he was like, how do I buy the property, or how much equity am I going to have when I go to refinance the property? And he just totally wasn't getting the point. The point is, when you buy it with the credit that we're talking about, you're buying, you own the property now. You've used your business credit to send a wire to the title company, that's cash now. The title company has cash that they've put in the escrow account. That means you have 100% equity when you close that deal because you just bought the whole entire house with the cash. Now you can rehab it, place a tenant, and now you can do a cash out refinance with a traditional investment mortgage. So that means you're gonna get all the equity out because you've got 100% equity. So someone didn't understand that, and I think that that's a part of the problem when it comes to doing what we're talking about. It's usually the people that aren't savvy much at all with real estate that they're having a hard time understanding what we're like. How is it going to work? I don't get it. What about my equity? But here's the thing: you're buying as a cash buyer. You got full equity.
Yeah,
you can do whatever you want after that.
I think the problem is that there's so much logistics in this whole thing that one can only understand truly how it works if they have someone they already know that's doing it. Like me, I became an affiliate with you guys, and now I'm actually, telling people my own experience and giving them the true one-on-one of what it is to expect, to happen, the whole process of it. And when people get to know somebody that they already have trust in that has done it, like truly seen them doing it, they know that they're in the background, can come over to the house and take a look at the remodel project because I'm over on Facebook uploading my pictures of my remodel stuff going on. And they're like, oh, crap, and I'll tell them if they ask, they're like, Gabe, how are you getting this money? How are you doing all these things? I'm like, well, heck, most of it is because of Fund and Grow. I mean, I get the credit going, and before you know it, I'm making all those Home Depot runs, and I got ways that I can pay now my contractors and I can get payroll done. I mean, man, it's amazing, but a lot of people don't know that. They don't think that it can really happen. And the key thing is for me, it's not having this stuff report to my personal credit anymore. It's going to my business credit. My business is building its own entity's credit. And I always thought to myself, you got all these big, giant billionaires, that exist out there in the world. And you always wonder, can they really be personally guaranteeing all of these huge things that they're doing? No, they have a business entity that's already reputable in its own self, reporting to Dun and Bradstreet. I didn't know what the heck that was priorly. I learned so much through you guys have so much information. You have a section on corporate credit building that I now have accounts with Uline. Uline sends me stuff for the office. I get paper all the time now. They have a net 30, I believe. I don't have to pay them until like 30 days later, and they're reporting in the background. I got my Dun and Bradstreet like report telling me about the scores, and I'm like, whoa, we're like doing really, really well. No wonder the business is getting more credit and offers and
Oh
different
yeah,
credit cards are sending me convenience checks on a daily basis now for that sweet rental. I'm just like, wow, this is
that's
cool.
awesome. What do you know what your paydex score is now for the Dun and Bradstreet credit?
Unfortunately, I don't know from the top of my head.
Okay.
I just
Well,
remember that when I checked the range, it was good. It was high.
if you're getting those offers, you're getting accounts set up easily. Because we have a little, it's basically like a do-it-yourself side of the program, specifically for the corporate credit, the Dun and
Yeah,
Bradstreet vendor credit stuff. So the vendor
yeah,
credit stuff
that you
is
do.
a small part of what we do.
Yeah,
But for the clients that take advantage of that, now you're building up your corporate credit rating. So we've got a business
yep,
credit rating, which has personal credit connected to it. But with the
yep,
corporate credit, it's not connected at all to your personal, and you're growing your corporate credit profile and your Paydex score, which helps when it comes to getting business credit because now they have more to look at. Not only your personal
yep,
credit, now they can see that you've got corporate credit, you've got some vendor trade lines, some net 30 accounts. So that's a good thing to have going too. And we don't talk about that much because the main focus is like instant gratification, get me the zero
mhm,
interest funding as quickly as you can. But that while that's happening, a lot of clients are taking advantage of the Dun and Bradstreet credit, which is overall it's just going to help you with your credit rating as a company
yeah.
overall.
I gotta tell you, truthfully, you guys offering that as part of the package in the background is like literally the icing on the cake. Because for me, I wanted a way to establish my actual company to have more of its own footing. And Fund&Grow doesn't require you to have a company. They'll, in the background, they can still work with you regardless, even if you don't have one. So on my end, I had a company already, and I'm not the only one that signed up for this. I was part of a webinar 2-for-1 special. I got my sister involved. My sister joined
Yeah, tell
as
us about
well, and
that.
at the time, my sister Annette, she was my partner in this thing, and she had better credit standing than I did at the time, and they were able to work with her right away. And on her first batch, Funding Grow got her. It wasn't a huge amount, but for her it was big because it allowed us to move forward with what we were trying to do with real estate stuff. When I had added her as a partner at the time with my company, so it helped with remodels and different things. While I couldn't, because my personal credit was already like exhausted and I had to start cleaning it up. So on her first batch, she got $22,900. I remember she was working with, I believe it was Tiffany Carmichael was who she was working with, and then on her on her second batch, she was working with Bianca, I believe Bianca Rivera,
Hmm.
and I remember Bianca really stood out to her. She was really happy working with her, but just the same with Tiffany. Tiffany was awesome as well. She got on the second batch. It was like $91,000. I think my sister got a total of like 113,000, almost
Yep.
114. Yeah,
Yep.
my math is right. She was like
113,900.
113.9. Yeah, yeah. So my sister did that in her 2 rounds of funding. It helped her tremendously. It
Yeah.
truly did.
So wait,
She
first
she
batch
was
was
able.
20 and then she went all the way to 90 because sometimes people that's what happens. Sometimes people come in and their credits it's good, but maybe there's some high balances or whatever. I don't know what was
Yeah,
going on with hers, but
she had some
sometimes
stuff.
the first round is a little bit limited, but then the second round can come in like, just like a tidal
Yeah,
wave, like it did, because it went from 20 to 90,000. I could see she got one
yeah,
account. She had a
yeah,
$50,000 account, one account,
yeah.
$50,000 limit.
Yeah, I think that was her chase card. I gotta tell you, as a result of what she went through in the beginning,
Hmm.
because of because I was in the background knowing what I had to do with my personal credit to get that, because everything's about your debt to income ratio, your percentages, and bringing it down, below 35%. They teach you, like, I'm not saying everything they teach you. I would suggest you join. They'll send you into a whole world of learning stuff that you'll get really feel like a professional after that about credit and how all that actually does work in real life. I was a
Hmm.
newbie. I didn't even understand it to that degree, but I always visited like different credit forums and stuff and learned just enough. But Fund and Grow taught me things that I was like, wow, that's really how it works. Interesting. And I saw what they did for my sister. What you guys did for my sister for me was preparing me in the background. Like you guys handhelded me, told me everything I needed to do so that I would have a real true start at my first batch. And look at that. On her first batch, she got 22.9. On my first batch, I got 95,200. I mean, and that was because I followed everything you guys told me to the letter. I was watching, like, Mike, I was watching you and Ari's stuff on YouTube while also following your stuff on your website.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, you guys, the two of you guys give so much value. It's not even funny,
I
So
appreciate that,
I
man.
like, yeah, man. Like, I can't wait one day to just meet you and shake your hand and just thank you. Like, seriously, man.
Well, I
Like,
got a feeling that
thank you.
time's coming soon because now that we know we're
Yeah,
only 2 hours apart, and like I
I
was just
know.
telling
And
you, it should be like 3 months. We'll be in our new office. We had to build it out a little. We had to add some bathrooms to accommodate for the amount of people we have. But we got a badass new building. It looks like it doesn't even belong in Spring Hill. It's really modern and nice, and because Spring Hill is like a smaller suburban town just outside of
yeah,
Tampa, like 40 minutes outside of Tampa. It's got like 100,000 people here. The population. It's not bad,
I,
but it's just it's more of like simple
oh, that's
living out
cool.
here. But yeah, definitely got to meet you in person. We're gonna have like we might even do like a book signing thing at the office to do like a
Ooh,
grand opening type of a thing
oh,
because we
that'd
got a
be
book that
cool.
we've been working on that we haven't finished yet, but it's coming.
Right.
So
Oh, that's
one thing I
cool.
wanted to ask you, give people on the that are watching the video, give them some meat and potatoes about like what you did with the funding. Like I know you said that you remodeled 8 houses, so it's allowed you to basically cover that cost, and just give us some any other ideas or any other ways that you used the funding in your business to help you grow. Obviously, 8 deals remodeled, that says it all right there. But if there's any other tidbits that you wanted to throw in, feel free.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll just put it this way. When you're getting 0% interest rates and you know already that you're going to have between 6 months and 18 months of interest-free credit, you know, Fund and Grow does something in the background. Once you get to the point that your credit is about to be up, your interest, not your credit, I'm talking about your interest rate promotion of 0% is up. They have this program in the background that's included where they'll actually be able to combine the limits and get you signed up on your next batch of funding and then transfer the limit over into, well, the balance that you have and transfer it over to the available limit of the new limits. And then that'll take the old amounts, bring it into the new, and you have another promotion period of interest free. So that kind of stuff was a way that I cycled the funds if I didn't get it all paid in full in
Hmm.
time. I would be able to extend the 0% credit offering for a longer term as a result of doing that. Another thing is being able to get with different merchants. You'll be able to set up accounts, with your better credit, and you'll be able to use it for payroll. And Fund and Grow gives you ways that you can extract the money out of your credit. They give you various different ways. One of the ways that you can do is convenience check options. You pay 3%. It's very low cost of the money, but you get the cash, the real cash. You could use that to make payroll, if you have staff or your contractors and things. If
What about
if
rewards
your
points?
contractors,
Did you get any cashback
yeah,
rewards?
yeah, absolutely. So like a lot of credit cards that I have offer rewards. I mean, these are real credit cards. I have a Costco cards by Citi. I got American Express. I got Chase, and all these types of cards that I have. I mean, I even have smaller banks that I didn't even know existed, but they offer 0% offers as well. That Fund and Grow got me, and I got to tell you, they all come with reward points. So a lot of times you get 1% up to 3% cash back for charging them. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
you're getting money to get you're in essence getting money to use the cards. Right now today, I took a trip with my sister and another person last year. We went to Las Vegas and we were able to fly to Las Vegas completely free of charge because we utilized the rewards that were all racked up because of the credit cards through Fund and Grow, obtaining
Hmm.
them. We made the trip to Las Vegas. We stayed in the hotel for a few nights. We stayed in a really nice hotel. I was able to utilize the points to pay for the hotel because it was a participating sponsor using the card. I think it was American Express, and I had like 120,000 points racked up.
Nice.
Yeah, just
Oh,
off of that,
that's
was
awesome.
able to apply that towards the hotel use. And then I had a thing with Frontier Airlines or a promotion with that, and I was able to get two round trip tickets off of that with the credit promotion. I mean, I was just like
That's
crazy,
awesome, man.
So yeah, so it's not even like you're just getting the credit to like buy and do all these things to advance your company and what you're wanting to do, but you're also getting the reward points in the background. So that's like free money in a sense.
So it basically pays for
That's
itself,
amazing.
and it almost paid for the membership fee that you paid us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then not only do you pay the membership fee with what you get so much out of it. I mean, you have a team of people that actually want to see you succeed and they'll tell you what you need to do, the pay downs you need to make, and how to maintain your credit after the fact. I
But
mean,
they do it all for
you're
you,
not,
right? They're not like telling you
yeah,
to go and do the application. We're literally doing all the
no, no,
work.
no. No, Fund and Grow is doing all the work. They're like holding your hand and literally guiding you to, there's nothing for you to do because they're
Yeah.
doing it all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's amazing.
Yeah. Other than
That's
maybe
why I'm
making
so
a pay
grateful.
down.
Pay down, it would be something that if they're going to give you advices before they're going to start doing the actual batches, then yes, they're going to tell you what amounts you need to get paid down so that way you can be a ideal credit candidate
Yep. And get the
ultimately so
most.
that you can get the most funding from it. Yeah, so if you're not, with somewhat of a decent credit score, don't worry, you can still sign up with Fund&Grow because they're going to still evaluate your credit. They're going to check everything and they're going to put you at the position you need to be at so that you can then be a candidate to start going for the batches. So, yeah,
That's
one stop
awesome.
shop. They're awesome. You guys are
Yes.
awesome, like truly.
You can tell just by hearing Gabe
Truly.
talk that we're doing all the work for you, but you can see he's very educated on what we do to
Yeah.
the point where he almost sounds like he is works for the company. Like he knows all of the info, and it's
What can I
literally just
say?
because he's gone through the program.
I've gone through it all the way.
How
Yeah,
long have you been a
I love
client
it.
with us now?
I've been actively a client of yours. Well, I would say just over 2 years.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome. Well, one thing I wanted to talk about, I know we went over everything pretty much. You talked about how you funded your rehabs and you funded other things in your business, payroll and all these different things. But one thing I wanted to talk a little bit more about is your business and what you've got going on. I know you talked in the beginning about how you were working with a lot of veterans, and you even mentioned that you were in the Army at one point. So thank you for your service.
no, no, I wasn't in the army. I was doing a tour as a promotional spokesperson,
Oh, I
and I
misunderstood.
had, yeah, no, 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 you're fine, you're fine. I love my vets though. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, I like what you're
they're really
doing
pleasure.
with the way you're helping them
Yeah,
find affordable housing. I literally
yeah,
got the chills when you were saying that before. I was like, oh, this is cool. This guy's like, he's not just doing deals, he's not just flipping houses. I know you even said you're in the
yeah,
middle of doing flips right now, but
no,
your model is really cool in how it caters to people who really need help with, getting affordable housing because, it's not everywhere you can find a place that you can rent just a room. I mean, they're out there on Craigslist, but you're helping keep that supply up
yeah.
of houses like
Well,
that and
my
affordable. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. My big thing is I'm what's in the works right now is I'm selling off part of my portfolio. Most of it is to go all in and buy some land. I'm looking at a partial of site between 2 and 5 acres. My plan is to scale up to my next phase of building basically a roommate rental community with micro suite apartments and tiny home cottages. It's going to be a gated community. It's going to be a first of its kind, and I've done a lot of research and development in this space. A few years back, I went and traveled throughout 6 different states: Portland, Oregon, Las Vegas, California. I went to different areas to see who were doing tiny house living. And I wanted to kind of bring in my roommate concept and also add a twist of a spin on it by bringing the tiny house movement in. But this would be, constructed into the ground. It would not be just driven in, but I have all these ideas, and a lot of these ideas are based around community efforts. I
I like
also
that.
have, yeah,
Tell
I
people how
have,
you're a realtor here in Florida as well, and if there's anyone in the
yes,
area, connect
yeah.
with
So I'm
Gabe.
absolutely. So, I'm not just community driven to help affordability. I'm also a licensed realtor in the state of Florida. If anyone wants to reach out to me, my phone number is 985 Ask Gabe, which is 985-275-4223. My email address is Gabriel Falk Realtor at gmail.com. And, I'd like to connect with you. I have a website, gabrielfalk.com. It's temporarily going to my main website, That's We Rental, but I'm in the background with a web designer. We're going to do all sorts of fun things with it. Have a biography more about me and who I am, and listings coming up, and ways that I can help. If I can help you, anybody in Florida, buy or sell real estate, get at me. Let me help you out. Just 985 Ask Gabe. Give me a call. I answer my phones personally. And if you call my line at That's We Rental for my housing for furnished and unfurnished roommate rentals, single family, and apartments, usually you'll reach out to my property manager, Candy. She is my employee though, and she's also my personal assistant, and she covers a lot of things that I may be too backlogged on. She comes through and then she reports to me, and I get back to you ASAP. So yeah, we're a great team. We work hard. We got a great crew, and we're doing a lot of things. And as a realtor, I want to help people buy and sell. And if I can give you a great plug into Fund&Grow as a way to get funds to utilize for down payment money, I mean, that could be a great way to get the funds you need to also buy property. I mean, there's so many ways that we can work together. So yeah, just
I have
reach
an
out to
idea
me.
too. You told me that you're selling off your portfolio, right? You're selling your
Yeah,
rental properties right now. So that's another thing. If
right
there's
now.
anyone on the video who is a actual buyer who's looking to maybe
That's
buy
true.
some properties from another investor, I know
Yeah,
I've
let
bought
me know.
properties directly from other investors many times. And so,
Yeah,
if anyone's thinking about that, he's selling some rental properties as well. He's a realtor in the Florida
yeah,
area. He's got some really cool and unique ideas about the whole, the community and the affordable housing thing. So definitely reach out to Gabe. And if you have any questions about anything, really, I'm sure he sounds like he's open to helping you guys out.
yeah.
But I don't
I would
really have
love
any
to.
other things to cover, any other questions. I mean, if you have anything else you want to add, like that you would say to like the new or even the seasoned investor that might be on the fence about using business credit, let alone Fund and Grow, but at least the idea of business credit as a resource. Feel free to give any last words that you've got. But I think we pretty much covered everything on my end.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mike. I mean, when it comes down to it, if you're on the fence about Fund&Grow business credit, just look at it this way. I at one time was in your same shoes. I was using my personal credit to buy properties. And when I say buy properties, I mean getting mortgages, and buying stuff at Home Depot and using my credit cards. And my debt to income ratios were so out of whack that my credit scores were falling. You know what? You get a few inquiries here and there, and it's going to report to a business credit, and it's not going to report to your personal side, because in the background, Fund&Grow's sister company, Cadem Credit, or the guide that they show you, if you decide to go that route, will teach you what to do to get that credit inquiries off. And then you're flying like soaring through the sky like an eagle. I mean, literally, these things are not affecting your personal credit anymore. It's like as if you have a separate entity, another identity. It's amazing. I mean, it truly is amazing. Yeah, sorry. I'm having like a moment with myself thinking about it. Fund&Grow is the real deal. Like, get off your ass and do something about it.
There you
Put
go.
up or shut up, people. That's all I can say. Put up or shut up. Stop
Yep.
making excuses for yourself. That's
Yep.
there's that saying by Nike, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the the promotional video that Shia LaBeouf put out
Yes.
where he's like, "Just do it."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody's got to do their due diligence. You did. I know you did a ton of research, but
Yeah.
once you get to that
Tons of
point where you're
research.
starting to feel like, all right, they seem
Yeah.
trustworthy. It's pretty transparent. There's a lot of info online. It's like, all right, at that point, give us a call. Go to the link in the description. We'll go over everything with you on a quick phone call. We'll answer all your questions, and we'll let you know what you pre-qualify for. We'll ask you a few questions about your credit. It's not rocket science. We know what we need. You need a decent credit score. You need, some credit cards that are open. You don't want to be maxed out. You don't want to have a brand new foreclosure on there. So you want to have a decent credit profile, and that's pretty much it. And then we'll let you know, you're in this range from, 60 to 70 on your first batch. Or we'll say, hey, you need to pay down $3,000 so you can get below that threshold, because we usually want people around 35 to 45% of the debt that they have compared to the total credit limit that they have available on all their credit cards, on their major cards. So once you get on the phone with us, you get all your questions answered. We'll let you know what you pre-qualify for, and then from there, the decision is yours. If you want to get access to this type of funding, I know plenty of people are getting a ton of funding because we're doing, literally $15 million every month in the credit that we originate. I know Gabe got 180, and then his partner because I don't know if we made this clear, but we allow you to bring your partner on with you, spouse, family member, business partner. So he brought his partner in, and between the both of them, they got 180 plus 113. So
yeah,
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's ridiculously, and it only costs you one flat fee for 12 months. You got our service for 12 months. We do 3 rounds of funding. So if you like this video, if you thought, I know for a fact this was a great interview. we talked about so much like empowering and motivational stuff. If you appreciate this video, give us a subscribe, give us a like, hit the notification bell, come back for more content. What do you got there?
We got combined, my sister and I both, $294,200 in credit because of Fund&Grow. When I look at it like that, I'm just like,
yeah, I felt a little ashamed of myself that I couldn't do the math in my head, so I'm glad that I'm not the only one.
I know, I had to get my calculator. I was like, you know what? Wait, am I saying it right or not? You know what? Screw it. I'm doing the calculator.
All right, so guys, do us a favor. We just tried to give you as much content as possible. We were only going to keep this video to about 20 to 30 minutes, but I think we went on closer to an hour. So if you guys enjoyed the content, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell. It helps us get this type of content out to people. We're trying to be completely real with people and just tell them how it is. And so if you appreciate this video, we would really appreciate that. Hit the like button, share it, comment, let us know what you think. And we're going to have Gabe come and comment in the video as well so that he can connect with you guys. And if you guys ever need a real estate agent to help you list your properties, to buy properties, if you're looking to get any rental properties, if you want a joint venture with Gabe on some of the stuff that he's branching out into, because Gabe's a visionary. He's got big things on the horizon. It's not just his little real estate business. He's growing and he's expanding into new realms. So if you want to work with Gabe, hit him up. Otherwise, we really appreciate you guys. Gabe, I really appreciate you coming on and all the great feedback and the positive, kind words about us and our team. I really, really do appreciate that, and I look forward to meeting you in person very soon. But until the next one, guys, we hope you like this one and have a great rest of your day.